Welcome in to my home. Welcome, come in. Come and join me, sit down, get comfortable. This is not a podcast episode. This is not. This is something different. Hopefully this will still bring and add value to your lives in some way. I wanted to find a way to really interact with you guys because so many of you send me DMs, so many of you comment on posts, and it's a lot to handle and it's a lot to respond to. So I don't always get the chance, but there are some comments that just stand out. And I take note of these. I may not always jump in the comment section and respond, but I take note. And on top of that, there's videos that you guys send me and you say, you know what? I think you should respond to this. I think you should comment to this. And I don't always have time because, believe it or not, this social media world is overwhelming. A lot of people say, you know what, you're doing so well. Look how many followers you've got. I'm someone that is just constantly seeking perfection to the point where it overwhelms me. And then I feel bad because I'm not responding. And then I feel bad because I've got people in my WhatsApp contact list who have sent me messages and I haven't responded to. And I just feel like there's so much to talk about or do sometimes that it becomes a lot. So with that being said, I thought, why not create a different segment where we go through some of those comments? So every week, maybe not every week, we'll see how this goes, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some comments from you guys. Some may be good, some may be bad. We'll see what happens each week. So yeah, I just want to do that and talk about it. So I put a post up. It was a simple post. It was me sitting on a bench in a park. I found out that was Kensington Gardens. I was in a park and I didn't realize where I was. And I wrote the caption, what is one thing you wish your co-parent would understand? Now, there was hundreds of people that commented, but there was a few that stood out. And I really just want to address them. Now, there's actually two this week that I couldn't ignore. Not only did I think they were powerful, but they were connected. So I'm going to bring them up and talk about them. The first comment was from Isle of Wight Mum. Some of these names may be a bit weird, but we're all right with that. Isle of Wight Mum. And she said, remember the question was, what is one thing you wish your co-parent would understand? And Isle of Wight Mum said, how he talks to me and his own mum has a huge impact on how my son speaks to me. I just want you to sit with that for a minute because I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate to that. How he talks to me and his own mum has a huge impact on how my son speaks to me. Then what we had Lucy of the Earth commented separately saying, everything he does to try to hurt me ripples out onto our little boy. The way he treats me sets an example for how our boy will treat others and himself. They're very connected, right? These are two women who clearly feel like their co-parent is very disrespectful, is not treating them in the nicest way. There's no details as to how they're being treated, so this is my hypothesis on this whole situation. It wouldn't surprise me if these men are being spiteful, if these men are being rude, disrespectful, controlling. I've been that way. But also not realizing the impact it has on our child. Because as men, as parents, as individuals, sometimes we can see red and all we see is the other person. All we see is anger and frustration. And we're just trying to get one up on that person. We're just trying to better that person. We don't see our child. The child is the only reason we're there, but we don't even see our child. We just see this as a battle between mum and dad. between co-parents. And it's crazy because the main word in co-parent is parent. Parenting involves a child, and yet we forget completely about the child in order to spite this woman. And I want to remind you, any man listening, any mum listening, your son, your daughter, whoever, isn't just learning how to treat the other parent by watching you. They're learning how to treat people. So if they're watching you as a dad disrespect the mum, and you have a son, and that son is watching you as the dad disrespect the mum, he's not just learning how to treat his mum, he's learning how to treat women. He's developing an understanding of what he believes is acceptable because he's learning it from the one person he looks up to the most, his dad. So you're setting this child up for failure because it's not okay to go out there into the world and treat people that way. There's consequences that come with that. Your daughter isn't just learning how to react based on how you react. She's learning how to love. She's learning how to respect others. She's learning how to resolve conflict just by watching how you do this. And like I said, I think sometimes we get so caught up in the battle between mum and dad. Someone's hurting, someone's out for revenge, and we're using our child as the weapon. And some of you may even think it's funny. My son talks to his mum or disrespects his mum and she deserves it. Your son is learning how to treat people. And if that's the example you're setting, and if those are the lessons you as a man are teaching your son, at some point, there's going to be a reality check. It may not be when he's 6, it may not be when he's 8, it may not be when he's 10. At some point, that behavior is going to get him into trouble. And he would have learned that behavior from you. So, I just want to remind you, when you act out of spite or ego, and you're trying to hurt your co-parent, it doesn't just stop with them, it trickles down to your child. Without realizing it, you're hurting your child. That's not what's best for your child. I want to thank Isle of Wight Mum. I want to thank Lucy of the Earth for commenting. And just remind you that as parents, our job is to make our children feel safe, make our children feel loved, protected, and to teach our children how to navigate life. We're creating future adults. We're raising future wives, husbands, partners, professionals. We're raising future parents, mums, dads. What lessons are they learning from you? None of us need to be perfect. We don't need to be perfect. We're never going to be perfect. We don't need to aim for that. We need to be aware. We need to be aware what we're doing and how it impacts our children. Long term, not just now. I want to leave you with this. Stop focusing on raising a happy child and focus on raising a healthy adult. They're two different things. Some of you are so caught up on raising a happy child, showing up when you want to, playing games, being silly, like disrespecting the other parent, thinking it's fun, being inconsistent, gifts. You're focusing on pleasing the child, creating the happy child. That child becomes an adult. How is that adult going to be? Are you creating a healthy adult, or are you creating an adult that's going to have so much to unpack because of how you've behaved while they were a child? Just some food for thought. These aligners are really kicking in. Sorry, the amount of swallowing I'm having to do, that sounded so wrong. Right. What I want to do now is bring up a video. I want to bring up a video. So each week I'm going to try and react to a video. And I want this to relate to the platform. I don't want this to be about, oh, there's a prank video. Nah, this is going to be very relative to the platform. And this week's video comes from Mr. Lee, the mentor. I've actually been following him for a while, and I think this man's amazing. He's helped me. We've had conversations. I'm not sharing this because I communicate with this person. I'm sharing this because I think the work this man is doing is so powerful. And if I can use my platform to make others aware of people like him and to, I guess, not promote, but just promote the message, then I will. So I came across one of his videos, and I just want you guys to watch it. We're going to watch it together. So yeah, have a look at this.
One thing we learned about last week is change, and that change can happen anywhere in your life. You have to deal with it.
I read your paper. You don't got to share nothing. What's something you learned about change and pain?
Change, like pain, can happen anywhere. You just have to go with it.
Can I just stop there? How many of us were learning that in school or in a class anywhere? Understanding change and pain. I learned about division. I learned about history, English, Romeo and Juliet, writing, like all of us go through exactly that, change and pain. To be teaching young boys that at a young age is so valuable, is so needed. I could get emotional about this because as a kid, not just being raised by my mum, but I think just being a boy, there were so many things that I went through that caused me pain. So many things that changed. My nan passing, domestic violence that I witnessed, my dad not being there. So many experiences as a kid. Oh. And no one ever taught me how to manage that. You go to school and you learn about division, multiplication, fractions, Shakespeare, William Henry, all of like the real stuff that people are going to go through, these young boys that become men are going to go through, are not being taught. And if you are a man in your child's life, or if you are a man around boys, it's so important that we have these conversations with them. Sorry, let's go back into it.
Okay.
Deal with it.
And do what?
Deal with it.
What's something we taught here that helps you deal with pain?
Breathing exercises.
Wrap it up. Have a seat. So change and pain is it's a teacher. Either you can allow change and pain to break you, or you can allow change and pain to make you.
The reason why that hit me is because I remember when I was a kid, I had asthma as well. I remember as a kid going through moments where I was crying. I remember my nan passing, and I was crying, like, uncontrollably crying. And whenever those moments would happen to me as a young boy, I would always struggle to breathe. It would always get on top of me. No one ever taught me breathing exercises. No one ever taught me. I was just told, like, breathe. I never realized until I was older the connection between controlling your breathing and your emotions when you're going through certain things, to try to focus on breathing. when you're feeling anxious, when you're feeling hurt, angry, focus on your breathing. For this man to be teaching that to these boys is incredible. For these boys to be aware of these things and to be given these tools at a young age is incredible. I just need to give this man his credit and his props. Mr. Leader Mentor, I'll put all of his details in the description. It's so important if you are raising a young boy that you have these conversations with him. Talking about football, talking about wrestling, going to theme parks, buying trainers, all of that. Yes, great, it's nice, cool. The real value is in the conversations. How are we preparing these young boys and girls for the real world? Having a man like him around me when I was growing up would have made such a difference. So to know that he's around young boys and he's got his own mentoring program and he's doing great things, that fills me with joy. That fills me with joy, and we need more men like that. So I'm going to end this there. I think this has gone on longer than I thought. If you like this format, if you like this episode, let me know. Let me know. Jump in the comments. If there's a video you think is empowering or want me to react to, related to family, co-parenting, kids, manhood, relationships, make it relevant. DM me on social media. If you want to support the platform, my Ko-fi link is in the description. I never know how to end these videos. We're just going to end it. I still don't know how to end it. We're just going to end it. We're ending it. It should have gone now. Just go, please.